The bill before us is an attempt to make drivers safer across the state of Connecticut. It's something that the Transportation Committee has taken very seriously in prior sessions, but particularly in this session. And I'll tell you why that is, Madam President. In 2020, there were 2 wrong-way crashes. In 2021, there were 4 wrong-way crashes. In 2022, there were 13 wrong-way crashes, resulting in 23 fatalities. And Madam President, so far, just in the 5 months in the year 2023, there have been 27 wrong-way crashes and 15 fatalities. And sadly, Madam President, we all know this all too well, the pain and anguish that is felt by family and friends and loved ones who lose somebody due to one of these crashes. We lost a colleague here in January, Representative Q. Williams, and I know it has shook this chamber, shook the House chamber, all of us to our very core. And we set out at the beginning of this session, together with our partners at the Department of Transportation, to do something about it, to really look into this and say, you know, what can we do to prevent these highly preventable deaths? The Department of Transportation, and I really have to give kudos to both my colleagues in sessions past on the Transportation Committee who had been already really taking a diligent look at ways in which to prevent wrong-way crashes. And so together with the Department of Transportation and Commissioner Eucalito had set up a pilot program. The governor put in $20 million in funding to set up a pilot. And, early this year, 16 locations went live to have really these flashing lights at these particularly high-risk exit ramps across the state of Connecticut. There are 236 ramps that have been identified as higher risk across the state of Connecticut. And what this bill would do is look at 120 of those and take it a step further. So not only would we have the flashing lights, which are incredibly important, alerting a driver that they are going in the wrong direction, but we would also have state police notification. This is something that is happening currently in other states, like Rhode Island, and our neighbors there believe that this really saves lives. They've seen a tremendous reduction in the number of crashes with the system that they have in place. And we really wanted to pull from what other states are doing incredibly well. And so we did that. As a committee, we met with our colleagues at the Department of Transportation. And again, I have to give a big shout out to Commissioner Eucalito for wanting to do everything he can to make sure that we are addressing this issue across the state of Connecticut. And so looking at best practices, making sure that we are implementing all of the tools that we can possibly have in our toolbox here to prevent these preventable deaths. Unfortunately, what we've learned is that 80% of these are due to drivers driving under the influence. And so, again, I'm going to, put out that cry to everybody across the state of Connecticut. Please do not drink and drive. Do not use drugs and drive. Get a designated driver if you're going to be out, utilizing our magnificent entertainment across the state of Connecticut, our wonderful hospitality system, but make sure that you have a designated driver. This is a multifactorial issue. It requires a multifaceted approach, and that's exactly what we're trying to do here. So we're going to use crash prevention technology, create a public awareness campaign, ensuring that people across the state of Connecticut understand the dangers of wrong-way driving, what to look out for, how to prevent, getting on to an exit ramp the wrong way. We're going to partner up with law enforcement, as I said, by ensuring that law enforcement is notified when a driver is getting on one of these exit ramps. And we're going to study this a little bit more. We're going to continue to, like I said, we're already doing as much as we can, to look at best practices across the country, in other countries, to see what they're doing really well. And we're going to use those tools, put them to work, and see what would make sense here in Connecticut. Already, the University of Connecticut has a study underway about rumble strips, making a louder noise. If you're going on the highway, the exit ramp in the wrong direction, you'll know right away, just like when you veer off the side of the road and you hit those rumble strips, you'll know right away. You'll feel it on your car, you'll hear it on your car, and UConn has a study underway on that, and I'm really hopeful that we will get some recommendations to work with in the future. In fact, we require a report by the year 2025. And so, Madam President, that is the bill in a nutshell. We are going to implement these wrong-way driving detection and notification systems at more of our high-risk ramps across the state. We're going to notify state police of a wrong-way driver. We are going to notify via the video messaging system, our message boards on highways across the state of Connecticut, if there is potentially a wrong-way driver on the road that they are driving on. We are going to have a public awareness and driver education program to let folks know what to look out for as they're driving to prevent getting on highways in the wrong direction. And we're going to continue to study programs and tools that may be made available to us in the state of Connecticut to further prevent these deadly crashes from happening. And so, Madam President, with that, I want to give a special thanks to our nonpartisan staff who work so hard with us alongside the Department of Transportation. Certainly my co-chair, who has really been such a proponent and, fighting for safety on our roadways across the state of Connecticut for many years. And certainly the ranking members of the Transportation Committee who worked in such a bipartisan fashion, recognizing that safety is of the utmost importance for all of our Connecticut drivers, for all of those driving through, that we should all feel safe when we're getting on our roadways. We should feel safe, Madam President, when we have to leave these chambers late at night or early in the hours of the morning. We all deserve that safety. And that's what we're trying to get at here. That's what we're doing in collaboration with one another. And Madam President, I urge passage.